rings that hold the vents in, and after a while those degrade, and that's what will open.
AHH, so the force in your cutting was wandering.
Yes. How many more do we need for a crate? 20?
Said, yes.
We'll go somewhere and find 20.
Pro 91 said, lobster all season or do you switch to any other species work?
I go to
Six-pack enjoyer said, you make me want to buy a lobster boat and leave my office job.
I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
Pro 91 said, LOL. Engine 3R said, has there been a year where it was difficult to get a license? 91 Sin said,
I
I'm the same boat as you. Muddy Professor said, I heard scalloping is easier, is it true? Second line 2026 said, well, we made it to lunch. How's the trapping been, man? 91 Sin said, in. He said, just Girl 91 did those scallops in the winter. How's the lobster population doing this year? Leah's in the Y said, I
Seems
could watch
good.
this all day. Shout out from Brazil.
Welcome
Sit up to
in.
be arranged said, 91 since it's very hard if you're trying to get a license for the first time. Shy Gamer said, how many tax do you get this year?
I got 800. 800's the max.
Said, what do you sell a crate for?
Like 400 bucks.
Earlwasp0T said, good day.
Good day.
Gamer said, full house. Copenhagen said, what are the tags for traps?
Yeah, I have to tag every trap, so the DMR knows it's mine.
Ninety said, what does a fisherman do when he's in a bad mood? He goes fishing, so he has another reason to be upset. Six-pack enjoyer said, do you pay taxes on the lobster?
Oh yeah, I have to pay
91
taxes.
Sin said, even my job is difficult for the first time a person comes in. Five said, nice day. Copenhagen said, how old are you, Peanut?
25. I'll be 26
Ordinary
in
Joe said,
September.
I hope you write Starlink off of your taxes.
I do.
Second one
I do.
2026 said, some pretty water there, bro. X-Mu said, I'm assuming you're from Maine, hence the Twitch name. Greetings from Finland.
Welcome
Fruit
in.
said, how often do you deal with fish and game department? Streamlabs said, thank you for following Zaponi.
Like once a year. Scalloping is more often.
Said, how did you get into lobster catching? Is this a family business? Shy Gamer said, oh
What's
damn,
up,
I feel
Hundo?
old now. Just Girl 91
What's up,
said,
Hundo?
oh geez, you're younger. Didn't even realize it. Streamlabs said, 100 proof good. I just rated the channel with 11 viewers. Streamlabs said, thank you for following too, Ryan. 4 said, W rate. Line 2026 said, AE welcome in folks. To be arranged said, 91 Since it's not the same, there's only a certain number of licenses that Maine will give out every year, and you can only get one if someone else gives up their license, which doesn't happen often. Factor that in with the length of the waiting list and you'll probably never get one.
What's it? Three out or four out? No, it's five out, one in my zone.
Raiders welcome, raid alert. Strange App said, how much do you make per week in total? Setting John 9 said, what's up, good morning. Winkle said, strange App, it's different every week.
Morning. Yeah, I think in my zone it's like 5 out and 1 in.
The rules are different.
Some years, only one license doesn't get renewed or however it works.
Flav said, thank you for following Catapult.
It's crazy. One of my grandfather's good friends was on the waiting list for 43 years.
I don't think fish and game go out into the ocean. It's State Marine Patrol, Marine Law Enforcement, Maine Marine Patrol.
My back is sore today. What's up, Jordan?
Said, can only buy it here in my neck of the woods now. No more draws or lists to get in. Liberty said, any tips on catching lobsters in RuneScape?
Never played it.
Strange Al said, can you give an average to what you make per week? I love what you do.
I really wouldn't say an average. Like 1,000 maybe. 1,500, depends on expenses if the boat breaks down.
Said, everyone hi from Russia.
Hi. See, we're in 19 feet of water now.
Strange F enough to buy a couple Big Macs. The said, hi, how long you have been a fisherman and what is the best thing you could say about your work?
I've done this my whole life.
Tillian Leader said, that's good money. Amer said, how fast do you sail between strings? Andre said, hello Russia.
What's up, Drummond? I coulda got here quicker, but just idling. I'm pretty fucking wore out today, not gonna lie.
He said, reptilian leaders, you have to remember that's not all year. Swiftjin said, are we done for today or?
Nope. We got a few more.
Did 7,653 said, hey Captain, does the depth of water determine how many traps on a line?
Yeah.
Reptilian leader said, do you ever haul ass?
Sometimes.
Ilano said, who parallel oscilli francaise? Black said, I did 7,653.
Thank you for the 5.
Tier 1 subscription.
Appreciate you.
Strange App said,
thank
how
you.
many hours per day do you work? Tuesday
It all
said,
depends.
you. Reptilian leader said,
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Milano English language, please. Midnight Hoodie said, W thank you I asked him. Copenhagen said, W I asked at 7,653. Roband 93 said, W. 3 Engine 3R said, we can't afford to be wore out yet. It's only Tuesday. M.R. Milano said, Oko don't speak French?
I do not.
Said, the best part gotta be going home smelling of ocean. Angry Butch 3R said, smells like money.
Money, money, money.
Monastic said, red gold. Ida said, what's one thing you love about your work?
Getting to be on the water every day.
Ordinary Joe said, have you ever thought about putting a buoy on the grappling? 0C7
No.
said, he loves us. Chat, Streamlabs said, thank you for following Chauffeur.
Thank you for the follow.
Monastic said, here fishy fishy. Thank you for following fishy. Thank you for following dropping 333. Development said, favorite fish to eat, not over to
Panic.
said, the much over traffic likes being on the water. Said, what do you do for bathroom?
Shit in the bucket, piss overboard. Shatter.
This said, can I call Cthulhu through the speaker? Butch 3R said, there's a massive toilet next to him. Streamlabs said,
Yeah.
thank you for following Jambonbeer 123,456. Ivitica said, so to the Koji. Said, may the lobsters all march single file into your traps. Six Pack Enjoyer said, why not feed the fish as well? Eric Monastic said, the ocean is your toilet, amen brother. Streamlabs said, thank you for following BK12. I asked at 7,653 said, I still think you should have a follower goal of having someone from your chat join you for a day on the water. Six Pack Enjoyer
I
said,
can't because of insurance
like
purposes.
Ivitica said, do the Koji fishermen make good money selling the bait everyone else has to use?
Yeah.
Nutty Professor said, ever taken an aquadom? Nightmover 2009 said,
Negative.
salt water clean the earth. I asked at 7,653 said, all makes sense. Vivisec said, shedders are no good?
They are,
Eric
they are.
Monastic said, how do you get your name in the boat? Dittoin said, what do you say shedder, what's this?
We did a thing where it was 5 gifted. Thank you for the
Said,
raid.
Zerglative just rated the channel with 13 viewers.
Thank you.
41 said, will you unload these lobsters today to shore? Winkle said,
I'll put 'em in a holding
welcome
cage.
raiders to the stream. Zerglative said, lobster. Streamlabs said, thank you for following Zerglative. Dittoin said, what means shedder? Regit said,
Means it's a
raid
soft
lobster.
shell.
Vlad said, Tikimonkey just subscribed with Twitch Prime.
Thank you,
Shy
Big
Gamer
W.
said, raid alert, raid alert.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
He said, Hive train, let's go. Vivisec said, I'll put them in a holding cage until they done shedding and have hard shell again?
Nope, I'll ship them out
Dittoin
tomorrow.
cheddars are lobsters that recently lost their outer shell to grow bigger. D0C7 said, Level 2 scam train choo choo. Just an ordinary Joe said, I wonder what the lobsters in the bins are thinking as they wait in vain. 3 Engine 3R said, watching a follower get caught in the line and dragged to the bottom might be good content, but not worth the insurance increase. LOL. Winkle said, shedders. Peric Monastic said, which are better, shedders or normal ones? Shortcut said, what's the count so far?
Hard shell have more meat, but I like the flavor of a cheddar.
Said, 2 crates and 59.
Cheddar. Cheddar.
Monastic said, are hard shells more rare each catch? I've seen you say it's a shedder. Are the hard shells put in a different bowl?
So if I was catching a lot of hard shell, I'd put them in a different bin. But we're not catching many, so I'm just actually mixing them in.
Black said, thank you for following Buddha.
Thank you.
Said, so shedders you keep any size?
Nope, they have to be 3 1/4 and can't go over 5 inches.
Said, it's shedding season. Page 33 Liberty said, do you ever get sick of eating lobster?
No.
Monastic said, I see. Ablarn said, do you sell these to a fish market or what are you doing with them?
I sell to a wholesaler.
Said, do you keep the paperbacks too? Coffin Teaching said, what do you like for music? Peanut? Irate said,
anything.
How many crates today? About 14 sheep said, what's the biggest lobster you've seen? 4 hash said, 2 so far. JJEBC said, what is the big? UMAX TV said, how many pounds did you catch today?
We're almost at 300 pounds.
C7 said, heron and pig hide. At 7,653 said, looks like we're gonna make payroll today.
Oh yeah.
Said, today he caught a good sized one too that was a soft shell.
Shedder. Shedder.
Monastic said, if you're out again tomorrow may I request the lobster shirt?
Oh, I'll be wearing the lobster shirt tomorrow.
Ordinary Joe said, are these lobster guaranteed organic? LOL.
I don't know.
Monastic said, hell yeah brother, that shirt rocks hard. 4 hash said, 12 to go. Vivasek said, most days I feel like I'd rather quit my job and buy a boat than try to be a fisherman, but I don't have the balls.
I hope your pockets are deep.
Said, does the Super El Nino affect the fishing in the Atlantic at all?
What's that mean?
TV said, is this your boat or are you renting it?
I own it. I own it.
He said, does your boat have a name? D0C7 said, the storms out at sea does affect them as they hide more and not move. Just an ordinary Joe said, not sure about the El Nino but the eclipse last week caused havoc on the tide. I asked at 7,653 said, it's Harper's boat LOL. Ditto and
Pretty
said,
much, yes.
how much would you say a lobster goes for?
$4.
Thank you for following Studio Gas. UMAX TV said, what is the name of this boat?
Harper Lee, named after my daughter.
Nutty Professor said, $4 but the restaurant charges $40 for a roll and same.
Yeah. Yep.
Said, Umax TV Miss Harper Lee. Agent said, yeah, I was just thinking, the upcharge is crazy lol. D0C7 said, you can't find it on the tracker so no use trying to look. Umax TV said, good name. Asaghost lol said, well, how does it end up on your plate? LOL. OC7 said, shipping cost tons to keep them alive. I asked at 7,653 said, tonight cousin's main lobster truck is near me.
Oh.
I have to get a roll. Dittoin said, these are wild so are they worth more than farm?
Do they farm lobsters? That I don't know.
Said, long day how is the fishing?
Not terrible.
He said, I had no idea they farmed lobster. Eric Wanastic said, do you ever get seasick? Streamlat said,
nope.
Thank you for following Monster 2993. Copenhagen said, how heavy are traps? About 14 sheep said, were there more lobsters when you were younger or the same?
I think it's the same. These traps are probably
Black said,
50 pounds.
Thank you for following Nutella Flip. Sit up to the arrange said, lobster farms are real, but they're uncommon and they're mostly for tropical spiny lobsters. Professor said, cheaper to buy lobster rolls from the boat direct or lobster direct only boat? Eric Wanastic said, have you ever been out during harsh waves that be kind of badass catching lobsters in waves?
Yesterday was rough, yep.
Drafiel Gooks said, no eggers lately? Streamlabs
We've had
said,
a couple today.
Thank you for following
Not many,
Decking
though.
62,114. Justin Ordinary Joe said, Peanut today alone you have increased your followers by at least 600.
Really?
Lions Bear said, do you ever take a few lobsters home to eat?
Once in a while, but I've been cooking them right on the boat.
Black said, thank you for following Heron. Caxide 666 said, Kona, Tigers Lions Bears said, can't get any fresher than that I guess.
True.
Money Professor said, what time did you start today?
6-ish? A little after 6?
Vicker said, are you your own boss? Linda
Yes,
said,
yes.
Hi Maine.
What's up, Linda?
Making 76 said, long day today, eh? To his team.
Yeah, I'm fucking
Can
beat,
you remember
BJ.
what's the biggest lobster you've ever caught? I asked at 7,653 said, why don't lobsters ever share?
I don't know.
At
they're shellfish?
7,653 said, because they are shellfish. Dittoin said, why are lobster too expensive at the restaurant? Biffman said,
Shipping and whatnot.
Have taken breaks before? Tigers, Lions, Bears
I have
said,
not.
do you ever take days off from this?
Sundays.
Black said, thank you for following Standish 82. I'd 666 said, show us next dagger, please.
I will if we get one.
Lion's Bear said, what do you do when you aren't fishing like hobbies?
I race, hunt. Well, snowmobile.
Thank you for following Lordy Al.
Anything really?
891 said, weirdest thing you caught on the cage?
A shit bag from a cruise ship.
Said, is Maine worth visiting? Copenhagen said,
yeah.
LMAO. 2SD said, oh.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Black said, thank you for following Edix Disco Panda. Nutty Professor said, a shit bag? WTF.
Yeah.
He said, what's the heaviest lobster you've caught? Dude,
I think a 7-pounder.
One of the best things about
8-pounder, I don't know, he was big.
And I can fish whenever I want out. Fishing Eddie said, called in a shit ton. Street Black said, thank you for following Dexia.
Thank you for the follow.
Black said, thank you for following Davex. Conhegan said, the lobster in that clip is a monster.
We caught a big one today that had just shedded in my trap.
Black said, thank you for following Fade 891. Clayton Explosion said, when you caught the shit bag, did you yell shitter? Nutty Professor said,
no, I threw it back over.
Noticed. Not a sunglasses guy?
Nope, I don't like wearing them on the boat.
It said, www.twitch.tv. Streamlabs said, thank you for following Powshred. It said, sorry meant to put in front of it. Mr. said, ever pulled up any body parts on accident?
No.
Edix Disco Panda said, how long he gonna left the track before harvest?
They've been down 3 days. 3 days.
Ed said, he puts the huge one back. That's cool.
Yeah, he was too big. He couldn't go home with me. They can't go over 5
14
inches.
Sheep said, how many lobster traps in total do you have? Copenhagen said, do you fish Monday?
Probably 12 or
Friday?
1,300. I fish Monday through Saturday.
3B said, do you have a catch limit? BSD guy
No catch
said,
limit.
you think the lobsters watch your stream and wait for you? Biffin
Maybe.
said, how's that dirty Mountain Dew?
Oh, it's fucking amazing. It's like the only flavor of Mountain Dew I like at the moment.
ADBC said, do you go out in all weathers?
I try, unless it's real, real bad.
OC7 said, he can have 800 in the water. Nutty Professor said, what flavor?
What flavor of vape?
Said, do the local high schools have lobster and nautical themed mascots?
Nope.
It said, is this a
Believe it or
pontoon?
not. Pontoon? No.
Tomister said, how much is gas per gallon for the boat? About 14 Sheep said, 800. How many traps can you get to in a day?
I could do 400 a day if I really
Disco
wanted.
Panda said, you can catch lobster for whole year or in half season?
Shutter.
Professor said, do you have Instagram?
I do not.